Hey mamas, update. I just had my appointment. 41 weeks, 6 days. I had until midnight tonight, or so I thought, to go into labor. But tell me, my God is not God. Like, our God is so faithful, y'all. You don't even understand. I went into this appointment, and I just, like, right before I prayed, I said, Lord, I just commit this into your hands. This day's in your hands. This visit's in your hands. You've done nothing but give me favor and show me all the way through. And I know you're going to see me through this. So everything's going to be good. Like, let's go. I go into the appointment. NST's fine. Everything's good. And they have to have the induction conversation with me because, you know, there's a 1% risk, you know, at term with neonatal death and all of this stuff. So they tell me, they're like, again, you know, the midwives there are so great. They're like, you know, I hate to have this conversation. I don't like to fear monger. I'm like, you're not fear mongering at all. You're just giving me information. Like, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. Anyways, she's like, okay, so do all the things between now and midnight, whatever. Anyways, I leave. The appointment went great with her, whatever. I needed to get 2 accelerations on the test, and she was like, hey, it doesn't seem like the machine picked them up. Would you mind just like putting music on for the baby? So I put on my birth playlist, and I do shuffle, and the song that comes on is Here Again, right? Will you meet me here again? Here Again is the song that plays, and I play it for the baby, and the baby responds, has the 2 accelerations, everything's great, right? And I'm just reminded, I'm like, yep, here we are again. This is like similar to what it was like for Josiah. It was like, you know, it was like literally the last day before the midwife was going to come over and be like, we got to do all the things to get this baby to come, right? So here we are again. Anyways, all of this to say that I went on to, I'm leaving, and I get a text from my friend. I get a text from my friend, and just checking in on me, a Christian doula friend, actually Nissa Andrews, who wrote Pain-Free Childbirth, which I've told you guys about. And she texts me, and she's like, hey, thinking of you, any signs of labor yet? And so it triggers me to be like, wait, I didn't ask the midwife if I had if the machine picked up any contractions, right? Because you're just talking about baby. So I turn around to ask her, and I run into the head midwife coming down the stairs. And she's like, oh, I almost ran into you. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then I go, and I'm like, I just forgot to ask Laura a question. Go to ask. The midwife comes out. So here I have head midwife and the midwife who I just met with. And she's telling me, she's like, oh yeah, you picked up 1 contraction. I was like, okay, 1 contraction, 20 minutes. She's like, yeah, but you talked right through it. Didn't seem like you even noticed. I'm like, I didn't. So all of this to say, I'm like, okay, I've had 1 contraction, right? And then the head midwife was like, when are you going to have, like, can you hurry up and have this baby? And I was like, we're trying. I'm like, we're believing it's going to happen tonight. And she's like, oh, when are you 42 weeks? I'm like, oh, tomorrow. And she's like, oh, she's like, so you have tomorrow. And I was like, what? I thought I was cut off at midnight. I thought if I come in at 12:01 that I am no longer allowed to birth here. That was what I was told. That was the information that I had received. And then she said, well, you know, she's like, how far are you dilated? Like, if you're 3 to 4 centimeters and you feel comfortable with us, like, you know. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And I was like, you know, she asks the other midwife. I've declined cervical checks up to this point. And she was like, oh, yeah, I was like, oh, we don't know. I haven't had any cervical checks. And she's like, oh. She's like, well, when are you coming in tomorrow? Because tomorrow's your 42 weeks, right? So tomorrow you can still labor here. When are you coming in? Tell her my appointment time. Tell her I'm like, oh, I'm here in the morning. And she's like, okay, great. Well, what we can offer you is that at that point, we could check you, and if you are 3 to 4 centimeters and the bag of waters is right there, and we really feel like there's not a chance, it's the head's right there, we don't think that there's a chance of a prolapsed cord, and it's safe to do so, we can go ahead and break your waters here, and you can labor here. And I was like, what? And I was like, did you just buy me an extra 10 hours? I was like, an extra 10. I'm like, you just bought me an extra 10 hours. In my mind, that's what I'm thinking. She's thinking, oh, may break her waters. And she's like, yeah, you know, I've been doing this for 30 some odd years. You know, I've seen it work. And I was like, I believe you. But I'm like, but you just gave me an extra 10 hours. And so I was so excited. And I was like, God, only God, who could do that but our Lord, Jesus Christ. He has given me nothing but favor all along this way. And here I am, like last minute, I'm telling you. And even like the midwife who's on tonight, she even told me, she's like, Leslie, if you are this far dilated, like if you are 4 centimeters and you're in active labor, like I will work with you. Like I will keep you here. Okay. If you're in active labor, you're contracting, like I'm seeing progress, like we're keeping you. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. So I am so happy that the midwife I have until 8 a.m. tomorrow is the one that I have, because she is just such a sweetheart. And I'm so happy that I have until 10 a.m. tomorrow because of this having run into the head midwife. And I'm so glad I got that text when I got that text, because you guys, I wasn't even supposed to be here at this time, okay? My appointment was originally for 4 p.m. I booked the latest appointment I possibly could. They called me this morning and were like, can you move your appointment up? And I was like, sure. Move my appointment up. I mean, this is only God. God orchestrated all of this, because it's not how I had it planned at all. And God was like, your appointment needs to move. You need to get this text at this exact moment so that your desire is to answer and be able to be like, yeah, I just had well, yeah, I'm contracting. And then you run into the head midwife, you have this conversation, and God again, favor. Psalms 5:12, right? The favor of the Lord is your shield. He is giving me this favor to shield me, to protect me and this baby and this birth, and it's going to be beautiful and glorify him. And I had to record it because you heard it here first, okay? You heard it here. Well, maybe it's not the first time, but maybe for some of you it is. Maybe this is the first time you're hearing this. How good God is, how invested he is in the details of your life and the details of your birth and the details of how this all plays out. He is that good. He is that great. If it's not good, like I said in my previous video, if it's not good, then he's not done with it yet. And I'm so encouraged. So I'm going to go buy some things that will hopefully help get me all cleared up and stuff and make more room for babies' heads. Here's a pro tip from my midwife's suggestions, also doula suggestion, is that if you are near the end of labor and you're literally like, hey, I'm just waiting for baby to come, consider foods that help to loosen your stool. Okay, consider foods that help. Don't eat the stuff that constipates you. Okay, you don't want that. You want stuff that loosens your stool so you're nice and empty, and all of you is nice and empty to make room for baby's head. Okay, I mean, naturally, when baby's head comes down, the things will come out. But if you have loose stool, it's even better. Okay, and so I am gonna go buy the stuff. It's not castor oil, y'all. You already know I don't want to take that right now. I'm not there yet, so it's not something I want to do. But I will go get some prune juice, and my husband says ginger beer is supposed to be really good for this too. So we're gonna try some things to help take care of that. Anyways, maybe that's TMI, but also I hope that that's helpful. A couple other things you could be doing, right? Because I've told you guys I'm doing the things, but I haven't told you what those things are. The mile circuit is a good one you could do to get baby into position. I've been doing the forward leaning inversion, and so I know baby's in good position and engaged well. I just you could do the miles. The mile circuit is something that's often recommended. Lunges, walking, what else? I'm forgetting something. Get the oxytocin flowing. So cuddling, orgasms, nipple stimulation, all that stuff. Whatever is going to help you get oxytocin flowing in your body to keep contractions coming. Those are some things to consider doing. I realize I haven't shared this stuff with you guys. I shouldn't just assume people know this stuff. Those things, you want to get that love hormone pumping in your body, okay? Lots of natural ways to do that, okay? So if you're comfortable with it, you could have sex. The thing with having sex is that prostaglandins are found in semen, and prostaglandins help to soften your cervix. So it's like a 2-for-1. So not only do you get like the orgasm with the oxytocin, you can also have the prostaglandins, which help to soften the cervix for dilation. So effacement, dilation, all that stuff. Effacement is the softening of the cervix. So anyways, all of that to say, there are things you can be doing, right? And do with that what you will, right? For some people, it's like cuddling, watching a movie night with your children, whatever it is, whatever will get that love hormone pumping in you. Consider those things, okay? So I'll leave you with that. Some exercises you could do, the lunges, the walking, and the mile circuit, right? Forward leaning inversion, I really like. And then there's so that's physically what you can do. Health wise, like what you're eating, like make sure you're staying hydrated. I've got like 2 bottles of water here in the car, and make sure you're eating soft bowel movement-y type foods that will help to clean you out and make sure you're nice and clean. But also make sure you're getting substance too, because you want to make sure you're staying energized, right? I always recommend honey sticks to bring with you to labor, because a nice little little pinch of honey is always really good. And then what did I say was the third thing? I just told y'all. So physical prep, the eating, and oh my goodness, I just said it, but I can't remember, y'all. Yeah, like, drinks that'll soften your stool and stuff like that, all of that. And then oxytocin. So activities that will help to induce that love hormone for you, whatever that is. Some people pump and think that as nipple stimulation, because it's supposed to help with that. That serves also, that's a 2-for-1, because you could be collecting colostrum. It's called colostrum harvesting. Colostrum is what comes in before your milk comes in. It's actually what your body's already made. It's thick, yellow, very, very nutrient dense food that baby eats from your breast to begin with, right? And so you can be harvesting that as of 39 weeks. Check with your provider, but normally they say as of 39 weeks, okay to start doing it. And you can pump and get that out, or you can manually hand express and get that out, collect it, and naturally nipple stimulation will get oxytocin. It's supposed to release the oxytocin hormone in your body, but also serves to help you collect some colostrum, which you can take with you to the birth in the case for any reason baby has to be separated for you or go to the NICU or anything like that, God forbid. But in the case that there's any reason that like you need supplemental nutrition for your baby, you have already harvested some colostrum. So in case there's any issues latching, anything like that, there's food for your baby and you don't have to resort to formula. Okay? So that's another pro tip there. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you guys found that beneficial. Probably should have given more of those to you throughout these videos I've been doing, but it's been mostly the emotional, spiritual prep stuff. But I feel like that's important to cover, because once you've got the spiritual prep, you've got your mind right, then all this other stuff that you're doing, you have these options, you're doing them, you do them in faith that they're going to work, in faith that they're going to help. Like I said in the last video, pray like it all depends on God, and work like it depends on you. Right? We're co-laboring with Christ here, right? So I'm going to do what I can in the natural. God's doing what only he can in the supernatural. We already see that. We already see him moving. And so we're going to get this show on the road. All right, y'all? God bless you. Bye. Hey, mama. So thanks for sticking around to watch this vlog of what pregnancy has been like with baby number 4. For this season, for this time, while I'm sharing about this awesome birth story. I am offering my online childbirth education course for as little as $1 to give you access through the end of the year to get yourself educated on birth and pregnancy and postpartum, so that you are prepared to have a supernatural, positive birth experience with Jesus. And so I hope that you'll take advantage of that. The link is down below. Thanks so much for sticking around to watch this video till the end, and we'll see you in the next one.